It's the last time today.
All right, welcome back to the final match of Alliance Tournament 15 for Day 1. We've got Rote Kapelle versus Rejection of Sovereignty. I'm Elise Randolph, joined by Moderator, and these two teams, Rote Kapelle in red, taking a double Geddon, double Blackbird, double Vexor core with a Guardian Logistics. And, Rejections of Sovereignty seems to have rejected the meta. Moderator, tell me what they brought.
Yeah, so Rejection of Sovereignty being Kyle Parthos' team that was formed after he split off from Space Monkeys, they've opted to bring a pair of golems, a Nighthawk for their length, a Hugin, an Orthros, a Purifier, a Hound, a Manticore, and 2 Nemesis. That is a lot of bombers, at least.
Yeah, that is 5 bombers. That is the most bombers we've seen crammed onto a single team. Also, the most golems we've seen crammed onto a single team. Bastion module not allowed in the Alliance tournament, but the golem still does get a hefty target painter bonus. Nighthawk, probably the first time we've seen the ship all day. I'm going to say we're not going to see many of them through the Alliance tournament. Not known for, anything, actually, besides being a little bit garbo. But, you do need links in this thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if these golems, Nighthawk, weren't cap chaining at all to give themselves a little bit of a beefy tank.
Yeah, interestingly enough, they don't actually have any logistics side on the blue team for Rejection of Sovereignty. They've also chosen to reject the meta and, like Elise was saying, bring no logi. However, they did ban out the Harbinger and the Brutix Navy, two of the core key ships in the traditional battlecruiser core that we've seen a lot. Rote Kapelle bringing something a little bit different, and something interestingly enough that doesn't actually do a great job at killing bombers quickly.
Yeah, though Rote Kapelle probably do have enough CM to jam out the bombers. The bombers don't have a lot of sensor strength, so they're gonna hope to get lucky on this. And with the battleship core with the Geddons, who aren't really known for doing that much damage, they're gonna have to hope that they can get some of these bombers jammed out. And the match is starting in 5 seconds here. The Geddons, by the way, warped in at 0 kilometers, so they are right up on the beacon. Pretty risky move when Vindicators are allowed, but you know what? Maybe they just felt that the Rejections of Salve wouldn't take any Vindicators. And they guessed right. Bet you they didn't guess that they would take Golems.
No, I don't think anyone would have guessed that. So we're seeing jams go across the bombers like Elise was saying, but the bombers are putting their torp damage onto the Blackbird, wanting to get rid of those jams. Knight Marlot already dropping in his nemesis, the nemesis of Kyle Parthos' team, being these jams.
Yeah, this Rejecting of Salve team does look like it could have been a Tinker setup in previous years. They're just crucially missing a Basilisk.
Golem now self-destructing somehow?
He MJD'd out of the arena. John Draper, mistakes were made. MJD'd 180 degrees behind the team and just boundaried in one of the tankiest ships in the game. However, the MJD button, it's kind of tricky if you accidentally click on it. I believe he actually used the beacon and not the module. So it's possible that he got bumped a little bit, which is, we were talking all day about the risk of using these MJD beacons. Once you activate it, if you get bumped by a teammate or by an opponent, you can get sent out the wrong way. And yeah, at 151 kilometers, he's breaking all sorts of records for boundary violations. Definitely taking the #1 spot today.
Yeah, this Hound now getting bumped out of the arena by the damage that we're seeing from this Rote side. Rote having an excellent control bar, and I'm really sorry for whoever has to manage all the incoming habitual euthanasia apps in Pandemic Legion. With all these new and creative ways that people are coming out of the arena, another ship going out of the arena will be No Mission is Purifier dropping, along with the shields on Blue Blob in the remaining Golem, and the Manticore being key.
Yeah, this is just a sad day for Rejection of Sovereignty. They're gonna have to go down the losers bracket. The lower bracket will face Hydra Reloaded amongst some other teams. Not really envying their position at all. Rejection of Sov did take a pretty bold 5-bomber team with no logistics. Unfortunately, they never got to apply their bombers onto a battleship core at all. They were just trying to get these Blackbirds down really quickly. I think, look how fast this Geddon belonging to David Zeta is dropping. If they had 2 golems and 5 bombers at the start, I think they probably could have killed a Geddon, just melting it through Guardian reps even. Because 5 purifiers is something like a disturbing amount of damage, like 4,000 damage just from the bombers themselves.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe Rejection of Sovereignty would be able to torp down a couple cruisers, possibly get rid of the Blackbirds, and then maybe they would have a possible way in, but Ruri Hishino in his Guardian has never been threatened this entire team, and even if they lose Kanye North, possibly the best username I've seen today, they were always in the commanding seat. Rote Kapelle, a team that ground their way all the way through the feeder rounds and are showing why they really do deserve to go to the next round, even if it was a bit handed to them. Kind of an unfortunate way to close out our day, as Blue Blob will be closing out the rest of his whole HP rather shortly.
Yeah, rip the Golem, poor boy. At least he didn't MJD out of the arena, but maybe he probably wishes he was, because he was just picked apart, and he probably kept hearing the capacitor is empty and over again. These double Armageddon cores, really notorious for providing a lot of disgusting control in the worst way possible. There's nothing worse than entering a match and having no capacitor at all. These golems didn't really need too much capacitor except for to rep, because they can still fire. So in that account, they kind of did counter the Geddons. But you can't really win when you're outside of the arena on half of your team and instantly zonked out 30 seconds. But whew, Rote Kapelle taking a clean victory, probably going to be 100-0 here unless they also boundary violate. But probably not at all. What's interesting about Rote Kapelle's team, over the years they've always had a very similar style. If you've watched a Rote Kapelle team in the last 8 years, you've seen either a Curse, an Armageddon, or Balgorn playing a role in every single team. They love this E-War, and it's kind of funny that these teams, in spite of different membership, in spite of different 3D crafters, always hold on to that same style.
Yeah, good fights in local, and CCP used ship salesman in local, saying that next time they should try to aim inside the arena when you're jumping. Words to live by. With that, to close out the day, it's been myself and Elise Randolph. Thank you for tuning in so far, and the desk will wrap it up for today. Thank you for following us so far. We'll be on tomorrow as well.
Stop. Don't stop. brother gets off work at 4 o'clock and we're coming down here to kick some mother.
Hey guys, welcome back. After an insane match, Rote Kapelle bringing their signature dual-wielding Armageddons against Rejection of Sovereignty's team that they brought into the Alliance tournament that had ships in it.
Oh, absolutely.
Thoughts? Reload?
Rejection Sovereignty bringing the dual golem shield all-in team that didn't bring a logic.
Yeah.
Versus...
It was a team with ships that were chosen.
Absolutely, and Rote Kapelle brought the ultimate hard counter, which is jams against Unbashed Marauders. Not the greatest.
Yeah. Marauders, for some reason known only to the developers that designed them, have extraordinarily high weakness to ECM. Like if you generally look at, T1 to T2 and then smaller holes to larger holes, their ECM resistance gets larger because you assume more complicated chip, more complicated electronics, more resistance to ECM. Not so with the Marauders. Perhaps in order to be able to fit Bastion modules, they had to give up some of that electronic shielding or something. But yeah, so ECM against guns. But I don't think that was the only problem with the comp. Rejection Sovereignty, Kyle, buddy. I love you, Kyle. I love playing D&D with you. I love all the things we do together. But no. Still, it was a fantastic match to watch anyway. We had rapid heavy Armageddons from Rote, as I mentioned. Yep. Super cool to see them. Definitely not a comp we'd seen thus far today. Really nice match to end the day on. And to end the day, we have a lot of people to thank. So very, very briefly, thank you so much to the guys on the desk that have been throughout the day, all the commentators. We've got a few guys up in the gallery putting everything together, like Jake and Bay and Ryan, a bunch of guys up there. They're now shouting in my ear. We've got the streamers, Equal and Bio. We've got stats guys, Alexi, tons of people, all the people that showed up to just come hang out and just help us out where they could. Got to shout out our sponsor, Chill Blast, who's given us a ton of cool tech stuff in order to be able to run today. Shout out to CCP for, allowing us to do this and helping us put it all together. Got to shout out the viewing party on the 5th of the 6th next weekend. Come to Nottingham, hang out with us in the breaks in between. We've got a room set up with like snacks and a big screen going on. Hang out, watch the AT with us. Event London is on the 18th of November. Am I forgetting anything? I'm probably forgetting so many things. But all those things I am forgetting, I will tell you tomorrow, bright and early, for day 2 of Alliance Tournament 15. See you then.